baby kangaroos out shopping? Or in the car?
You stay here.
For surrogate wallaby mum Biga, this is perfectly normal.
Oh look, Shanti has caught up.
But how does Biga live with her total of 22 kangaroos? We're in Klingelbach, in Rhineland-Palatinate, 14,000 kilometres away from Australia, the wallaby's natural home. Wallabies are a small species of kangaroo. We meet Biga Kruse. She's a full-time kangaroo mum.
Our eldest daughter has always been a kangaroo fan, and she said, why can't we have one? So that gave us the idea, and then along came the first baby.
Since then, Biga has been looking after baby wallabies. Mowgli and Shanti are number 21 and 22. But more about why Biga is the last resort for lots of kangaroos in a moment. For now, the curious wallaby babies are taking a close look at our team. They seem to be particularly interested in our camera equipment and cables. Not the cable, not the cable. But now, back to the question of where Biga gets these greedy animals from.
Mowgli comes from the zoo. The mother lost him and didn't accept him anymore. And we've already had one baby from that zoo before.
Many zoos don't have enough staff for bottle rearing and prefer to leave the care to Biga. She's creative when it comes to rearing. She uses a baby travel cot as a wallaby playpen and has converted a child's sleeping bag into a pouch.
Ah, now he wants a romp. He wants to play. You want to box, don't you?
Jetzt am liebsten boxen, ne? Komm her. Oh, Mowgli.
Mowgli,
Komm her.
come here.
Rein mit dir, los.
Come on, fine.
But how does a pouch like this actually work for kangaroos? At birth, babies are only the size of a thumb and weigh half a gram. Within a few minutes after birth, the baby crawls through the mother's fur into the abdominal pouch. Here, it sucks on its mother's teat. The baby spends the first 6 months in the pouch, developing from a tiny worm into a young animal. The mother can close the pouch with the help of a muscle. This means that in the wild she can quickly hop anywhere in case of danger without the baby falling out of the pouch. But sometimes, unfortunately, it does happen.
Kangaroos can't get their babies back into the pouch because they can't do anything with their paws except hold carrots. If the baby falls out and isn't strong enough to get back in on its own, it's lost. And forcing it back in doesn't work either because kangaroos are normally very sensitive to stress. So if you put pressure on them and want to transport a pregnant mother, for example, they'll often throw their babies out.
For zoos, Biga is the only chance to save the baby wallabies. She's considered the kangaroo expert in Germany. She usually raises 1 to 2 young animals per year.
I've also had 4, 3 at the front, 1 at the back. The fattest was on my back, and that was nice because he pulled me straight again.
That often leaves just 4 hours of sleep per night. Kangaroos are quite demanding babies because they need body warmth and constant movement. They only leave the pouch when they're doing their business. After all, they want to keep their beds clean.
Now come on, princess. You're a bit thirsty. Have a drink.
But somehow, Biga has to integrate all the full-time cuddling and carrying into her daily life, which means driving and shopping with 2 wallabies.
Little kangaroos are totally relaxed when they are in their pouches. Then you can do everything with them.
The kangaroos stay in the pouch for 8 months. During this time, Biga takes her charges everywhere, whether to the supermarket or to a wedding. Today, Biga is looking for a birthday present for her daughter. Apparently, 6-month-old Mowgli can hardly wait.
They're such pleasant passengers. A child would keep asking, when are we there? How far is it? And he just looks out of the window and thinks it all. No. What was I just saying, darling? Stay here.
For kangaroos in cars, the same rules apply as for other animals. They have to be secured. Transporting them is permitted in a bag and with a seatbelt.
Oh, Biga, hello. Well, everything all right? Everything's fine, wonderful. That's lovely, an animal visitor.
Though there are some nocturnal wallaby species, Biga is lucky. Mowgli and Shanti are daytime animals.
Very delicate, huh?
Most wallaby babies have reddish-brown or grey fur. This is good camouflage in the wild, but not when they're out shopping.
How did you get them? They come from the zoo. He comes from the zoo and she comes from a private keeper, both orphaned. He's the 22nd baby kangaroo that I'm raising. The 22nd, okay? Yes, all the twos.
A quick farewell photo outside the shop, then it's home for Biga, Shanti and Mowgli. The little ones are hungry. However, baby kangaroos can't take cow milk because of the lactose and the composition of the milk. Their mother's milk contains certain nutrients that protects the babies from pathogens. As a substitute, Biga feeds them a synthetic powder.
This is special powdered kangaroo milk flown in from Australia. Not directly, unfortunately, but via the USA. The new EU regulations mean foodstuffs are no longer allowed to come into Europe directly from Australia, so it goes via the USA. That makes it much more expensive, of course. A litre of milk costs 28 euros by the time it gets here.
That means milk costs are about 1,000 euros per kangaroo baby per year. Biga finances most of this herself. But some zoos also give her the milk powder. Feeding, however, is a science in itself.
There are actually 4 different types of kangaroo milk that you have to order when you get the little ones. They start with 5% fat content in the milk and then it goes up to 10%. And I always have 4 different qualities of milk with 4 different fat contents. Because if you get the little naked ones and feed them with this milk, they would die. Because raising kangaroos is very, very specialized.
In the meantime, Biga's protégés have had offspring of their own. Only a few of the animals are castrated. If a kangaroo has several babies in its pouch, it produces milk with the appropriate fat content for each one. The babies suckle from their mother for up to 9 months.
Oh, Shanti's put on weight. She's caught up well. From their mother, they drink a few drops here, a few drops there, spread over the whole day. To begin with, I make up the portions every 2 hours. And that's not as ideal as with the mother, but it's good. It's easy to take with you, and according to the book, they are within the norm too. It's all good, my darling.
Alles gut, mein Schatz. Alles gut, mein Schatz.
Wallabies are herd animals and should therefore never be kept alone. A pair needs at least 200 square meters of space. On the farm of Biga and her husband Dieter, this is no problem. However, before the little ones are allowed to join the grown-up wallabies, they still have to put on a few kilos. Dieter is happy to help with the feeding. So, my girl, oops, look at that.
On your marks, get set,
Fertig.
go!
Shanti and Mowgli drink 200 milliliters of kangaroo milk a day. And what happens to them when they grow up?
Well, when they grow up, we can keep them. That's also agreed with the previous owners or with the zoo. You can't give them away anymore. They are a bit like children and they grow so close to your heart in the truest sense of the word, as you can see.
They're just cute.
I have to help you a bit, don't I? You're a lazybones, do you know that? But a sweet lazybones.
As cute as the babies are, raising kangaroos is a very time-consuming and expensive activity. If you want to keep kangaroos at home, you need a lot of space, money and time. Things that Biga and her husband Dieter are happy to provide. Because having these bouncing babies is a dream come true for both of them.